Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Royal Danish Osu Cup of 2024. Up next, we got iamVill versus Bertilly, the seed number 5 versus seed 12. And as per usual, my name is Zenith, and I'm going to be commentating this match with GeometryVille.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
Doing just fine. I got my Faxicani booster energy. I'm all hyped up, ready for this match.
Oh, you're prepared.
I am well prepared. So yeah, we're going to be getting into this match between iamVill and Bertilly. iamVill, no stranger to anyone in the Danish OC community, obviously, having notably won the Royal Danish OC Cup in 2020 and gotten very close to a similar result in the following years, getting third in 2022 and second in 2023 last year. Bertilly, on the other hand, C12, usually around where he placed 11th last year, 16th this year, so somewhat similar placements. And yeah, you're going to be seeing if he can improve his overall placement in the tournament, as he has gone from top 24 to top 16 from 2022 to 2023. We'll see how he stands up to iamVill in this round of 16 match.
For sure. I'm not super familiar with the two players, but what I did notice from looking at the round of 32 stuff is that Bertilly got DT abused against in this match. And do you think that's something we're going to be seeing here?
Historically, looking at what kinds of bans and picks these players have made throughout the tournament, especially iamVill, he has had some tendencies to ban DT3 and DT4 a couple times just last year. So perhaps he won't get DT abused as much as his previous matches. Bertilly probably going to be opting to go for something like the no mod and the hard rock picks and possibly avoiding DT. But I don't think he's necessarily going to be DT abused per se.
He did, like you said, or like you didn't say, but Bertilly did perform pretty nicely on Hard Rock in round of 32. And granted, the star rating is still pretty low for these two players. I feel like, considering they're rank 1k, both of them. 6.3 star pools should not be a super big problem for them. Oh, we're in. Hello. That's warm up. Sorry.
We are just edging ourselves closer to the actual match. Just going to start off with a little warm up. But yes, you're right. Bertilly has done pretty well in Hard Rock, particularly in the seeding actually, where he placed 6th on Hard Rock 2. iamVill placing 4th, so seemingly rather even on something like a Hard Rock 2. And you're right, the star rating is obviously going to get a little higher with each round, so we're going to get closer to, well, something that might be a little more comfortable for these guys, being, very low 4 digits or very high 3 digits. So it's going to be more in their difficulty range for sure. But like I said, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of hard rock, a lot of no mod in this match. Vill, we might see a hidden 1 pick out of him. He has historically picked hidden 1 quite a lot. Not too sure about Bertilly's comfort on hidden overall, but I think Vill probably has the upper hand on that. What kind of warm-up match are we looking at here? Sin City.
Yeah, we're looking at a map mapped by Vill, actually.
Classic, picking your own map in warm-up.
Yeah, you gotta get it out there. Some free advertising on the Twitch
For
stream.
sure.
Get those hypes in.
You might assume that he's warming up for a no mod 4 pick with this kind of map.
Yeah,
from the looks of it.
Maybe just picking it for fun, also possible.
Could be a lot of reasons. Looked like it was a little bit tapping heavy in the beginning, but then the sliders just went absolutely nuts. Rather short map though, 1 minute and 30. Could be classified as a TV size if this was an anime song, but rather short. We'll see if Bertilly is going to opt for a warm-up or not, or if he's feeling ready off rip. I don't think we've seen too much warm-up in the matches so far. A lot of players are opting to just get straight into it.
Yeah, I hear this is also a rematch from a LAN tournament last week where these two players faced off.
Ah, yes, there was a LAN tournament. There were quite a lot of players at that LAN. Actually, I caught a little bit of it, of the stream myself. I was watching here and there. I didn't follow it too closely, but I'm pretty sure they both indeed made it quite far into the little bracket of that tournament that they were having. But it looks like we're going to get into the bans and the picks here. I think we missed the roll just slightly. But it's Bertilly to ban, and we are probably going to be seeing something like a no mod 4 ban, perhaps. Oh, he goes straight for the hidden 2. He does not want to play low AR reading.
This is also kind of a scary hidden 2. Slip is a classic in tournaments. Pretty rhythmically complex for a hidden 2, I'd say.
Yeah, it's not really been like the hidden 2s that we've seen so far, being very focused on hidden and kind of linear linear circles, linear notes on, you know, a rather dense map. This one a bit more on the tapping side, perhaps. Vill now.
Not the bad, honestly. Nomad 2. Looking at Bertilly's profile, you know, primarily a stream player.
He's a very good stream player, yeah.
I would assume that Nomad 2 would just be a guaranteed FC for him in match, considering his star rating. DT1 instead, opting for the DT ban.
I was actually going to think that Vill might go for something like the Nomad gimmick pick, as that is something he has banned quite a lot in the past. Maybe a DT3 finger control, but no, he goes for the DT1, so we're not going to be seeing that. No high AR raw aim for this match. But it leaves the door open for Nomad 2. I actually think both players are fairly good on Nomad 2. As you said, Bertilly is quite good on streams. Vill has also performed pretty well on Nomad 2 in previous matches and previous years. So if we get a Nomad 2 pick, it's probably going to be a very interesting showcase of what these players can do on a stream map.
Yeah, when it's that kind of map where both players are so incredibly comfortable on it, it honestly just comes down to either AK or that one random shit is on aim.
We have seen some cases of that for sure so far. There have been a few close calls where one of the players, they're both FCing, we get to the end of the map and it's just an AK difference, but usually we'll see a miss or two just at the end. So could be this one where we finally get to see one where it actually just comes down to accuracy and nothing else. That would be very interesting.
Other than that, all the hard rocks open, kind of expected, both players comfortable on hard rock, and I'm always open to see some hard rock in matches. I love hard rock.
Oh yeah, hard rock's very good, especially when we're, I wouldn't say late, but we're into a part of the bracket now where we have interesting maps like hard rock 3. I mean, usually we get some, I believe last round it was a pretty mechanical hard rock 3, whereas this one is a little bit more flow and alt oriented. So it's very interesting to see when the map pool expands what kind of interesting hard rock maps that we have available. But Bertilly
Nomad 2
is going to go for the Nomad 2. So we're just going to get straight into the stream consistency test. As previously stated, both players are very well versed on this skill set, and it's also quite a banger. I mean, we've seen this in tournaments before. It's quite a popular song, I would say, for Nomad 2. I've played tournaments myself where I've played this, so it's definitely out there. Many people know it.
Absolutely. There is another set of it though that is more often used, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the one where it's the guy where there's like a lightning in the background and his eyes are lit up or something.
Yeah,
that one.
exactly.
That I think I've played that personally, and I think I've seen it in a couple other tournaments as well. That's probably the more popular mat set. This one though, I think it's my first time seeing it personally. So, nevertheless, a popular song, and we're gonna get right into it. First pick, Bertilly's pick of this match. Let's see if he can put up a good score against Vill. It is a very consistency-based pick, obviously, so it's just going to come down to how comfortable the players are feeling on this particular day. I wouldn't say it's a relatively hard Nomad 2. It's not super flowy. It's more so based on just consistency and how comfortable you are in streaming what is now 191 BPM for the Nomad 2.
Yeah, this is a fairly chill map. Once again, we're kind of beating a dead horse by saying it, but stream maps at this SR for these players, I mean, yeah, you can just look at it now from the first 400, 500 combo here. They're both holding good act, comfortable. It's going to be a walk in the park for these two players, I assume, unless we see one of those cheeky misses somewhere.
Yeah, both players coming out of the gate strong. Almost actually, now they're matching their accuracy, so we got a dead even match so far. And like you said, the star rating is not very challenging for players of this skill level. Bertilly dropping a little bit of some hundreds there on that part, but still holding strong. But yeah, it's really just a consistency test more so than anything. And Bertilly's actually going to find a miss there on what seemed like nothing. Has dropped a little bit of accuracy as well. Vill is just looking super comfortable on this. No surprise given the rather low star rating. Still holding a very, very high accuracy.
Yeah, honestly, that could just be it, and that could settle the map. Still half of the map left to go, but now Bertilly has a bit of a score cap. And I mean, the longer Vill holds here.
Oh, and he breaks on the slider.
No.
Yeah, I think even if Vill finds a break around this part of the map, it's almost over with that.
Yeah.
Missing close to the halfway point, capping his score by quite a bit. And Vill hasn't dropped any accuracy since then. Perhaps a little bit of a slow start from Bertilly. Quite scary though. Vill is just not letting up. Does find a 50 though.
At this point, it's pretty much done and sealed. I think where Bertilly missed, kind of capped his score at 500, 600k-ish. And Vill is on his way to go way past that point. So
yeah, he's looking at something that he does find a miss there. I was gonna say he's looking to get something like a 970k score, but not anymore. But yeah, as you said, it's well and done. Vill would have had to have missed quite a bit earlier than that for there to be any chance for Bertilly. Perhaps if he hadn't missed the second time on that slow slider section, he could have maybe had a chance with that break from Vill, but there's quite a lot of score he would have had to make it up. And with that miss, it's probably going to seal it. We'll start off with a break point for Vill here. Looked very comfortable until like the last quarter of the map. Dropped a little bit of accuracy. I think he only broke once, so just a slight blunder.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be killing Bertilly's momentum and mental a little bit. I mean, first pick of the match, your pick. You're picking into your kind of specialty skill set.
One of his great skill sets, yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be a little bit tough for starting out the match. But rest assured, I mean, there's a lot of maps left. Anything can happen.
There are certainly a lot of maps left, and it's not like Bertilly is just a one-trick player who can only play streams or anything. So there's a lot of ground left to be made up for sure. I imagine perhaps we could be seeing the hidden one that I was talking about earlier from Vill, just to get it out there. Bertilly, not someone who usually picks hidden. Vill has picked hidden one quite a lot. And I mean, the hidden one that we have in this pool is kind of high BPM, a little bit awkward aim, but nothing that should trip up Vill if he does decide to pick it.
Something I found interesting about this hidden one is that the aim strain for being 210 BPM is really low because of how many sliders are in there.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different hidden one than the previous rounds and the usual typical hidden one. You gotta wonder if we're gonna see something like DT2 later. I don't think any of these players are super happy about playing speed usually. I think both have actually banned them previously as well.
Nomad 3 though.
It's gonna be a Nomad 3.
And this is a classic in tournaments. I mean, you've probably once again played the other set of this song.
Yeah, this is This is definitely a map you'll see here and there. Very popular song. I mean, this is one of those songs that just sounds like it's made to be mapped as a Nomad 3 map. So it's also a banger.
It's pretty good. I enjoy it. This is kind of a mixture, that nice middle ground between snap and flow mixed. The alt department.
Yeah, it has a little bit of both. Not super flowy, but a little more flowy than the usual Nomad 3. A little bit snappy too. We'll see if the performance is going to be there for Bertilly, if he can mental reset, or if it's just going to be Vill running away with his pick after getting the break point.
Yeah, starting a match 2-0 up is a great momentum giver.
Certainly, and like you said, oh, found 2 early breaks, both players. Just getting into the map just slowly. But yeah, definitely not so good for Bertilly. As you said, he probably picked into his specialty as his first map, trying to get an early pick, which did end up backfiring.
Oh, I mean, right off the bat, Bertilly is not looking super comfortable.
No, perhaps just a bit of an adjustment from the previous map. None of the players are looking that comfortable. We're seeing the accuracy. I mean, they're barely eligible for an A rank with this accuracy, but I'm sure it's going to stabilize getting into the map. So Bertilly finding consistent breaks. Gets another one in this first key eye, but looks like Vill has stabilized from that first early miss.
Has recovered super nicely. 400 combo now. The AC leaves a little bit to be desired, but that's not going to matter considering all you need to do is beat your opponent. And Bertilly is currently not doing so hot. Has rebuilt a little bit of combo though.
I'm actually surprised with how much the players seem to be struggling with accuracy on this map. Would probably think that they would be a little bit more comfortable, but Bertilly, while he did build up a combo, manages to drop it again. Even if he was close to Vill matching his combo, the accuracy deficit also means something. Vill is looking more and more comfortable on this. Perhaps has a little bit of a combo gamer mindset as his accuracy is staying hovering around that 94% mark. Finally gets it up to 95. But I mean, with a 214k lead and around a quarter left of the map with another miss from Bertilly, I think this one is also already in the books. We'll see if Vill can put on a show and get the reverse choke. That would be quite interesting. He's probably going to be capped at around 800,000 with his accuracy deficit, but nevertheless, this match is pretty much, or this pick is already won for him rather, so he doesn't have too much to worry about.
It does look kind of like a reading issue, and this kind of makes me a bit interested about the HR3. I mean, if this is how we're looking on alt, I feel like that should be a super strong pick for Vill, unless the AR10 makes it a lot easier for Bertilly to read it, because this is, I mean, pretty convincing. Much more convincing than Nomad 2, even though we saw that early miss. Oh well. I mean, 394k difference, not very close at all. Vill
No,
smashing
Bertilly
this map.
just couldn't really keep a combo throughout that entire map. And like you said, it might be interesting to see if we get something like the Hard Rock 3, because I get the feeling that Bertilly is probably going to be more comfortable on the higher approach rate when it comes to reading. Not sure if it was a reading issue or if it's just adjusting to playing alt. Not usually heavy favored on alt. Let's see what he picks into next. Now, normally I would probably say that Bertilly could pick into something like a hidden 3 or a hard rock 3, but with what... Oh, we're going to get into the hidden 1. That's quite interesting because, as previously mentioned, Vill is usually quite good on the hidden 1, even though this one is a little bit different from a traditional or conventional hidden 1. Perhaps Bertilly is wanting to try out and see how he can do on hidden, as we haven't seen that so far. Not super convincing on the reading, so this will be interesting to see. Perhaps he's cracked this.
Granted, it is AR 9.7 though, so it is very much not super heavy on the hidden reading. It doesn't become super dense. I mean, 210 BPM would be kind of dense on AR 9, for example, but considering how high AR this is, I don't think... I mean, you just need to be slightly comfortable on hidden and you'll have an alright time, I think.
Yeah, certainly. I think this is something that even someone who is not very good at hidden usually can play pretty well without too much trouble. So even if he is not usually comfortable on hidden, perhaps this is just a map that favors him if he is one of those players that is usually comfortable on the higher approach rates. Looking a lot more comfortable than Vill right out of the gate. Does find a break though, but the lead will stay with him due to the accuracy deficit.
Not for long though.
No, Vill is going to be stabilizing. Just getting through the beginning here. And on a map like this, it's really about paying attention to the sliders and where they're going because they got all sorts of speeds. Very slow, then transitioning to very fast. Lead is going to go into Vill, stabilizing that accuracy now. Bertilly still has the upper hand on the accuracy though, so if he can keep his combo up, he might be able to take back the lead.
Ooh, I was about to say that looked very close to a miss for Bertilly, and he does find the miss right after trying to stabilize from the miss aim.
This might have been a bit of a gamble pick. This is a very short map, and he did miss right in the beginning, so even if he was holding on... Oh my god!
That's a lot of misses.
That
is probably going
to... 2 short chain misses. Yeah, Vill... No trouble on this. Although it didn't look convincing from the beginning, but hey, once again, I mean, it's like you said, if your opponent isn't really keeping up with the combo game, then you don't really have to care too much about accuracy. That's what we're seeing here, because Vill is just going to be running away with it. Probably going to be getting like a 450,000 score lead. Bertilly missing there is definitely going to accelerate that, but potentially even up to 500k.
This is Masterclass from Vill, looking really hot here after the early hiccup, and I mean, let's see if we can close out the FC. You know, the commentator's curse is a real thing.
It is a real thing. We haven't had any yet, but he does actually close it out. Very nice score from Vill. Once again, backfires from Bertilly. Quite unfortunate as he did start off with the upper hand for the accuracy, but just can't really hold the combo on that. It's very tricky.
This is where the alarm bells start ringing, because now you're 3-0 down and you have the pick against you. It's going to be Nomad 5, so the kind of more
no hesitation, he just goes straight into it.
And judging by Bertilly's reaction in the chat, I don't think this is what he wanted.
No, I think he might have hoped for something like maybe like a Hard Rock 3 or something. Certainly not this. And well, we saw on the pick before this how perhaps it's the lower AR that is causing Bertilly to not perform as optimally as you could. And while this certainly doesn't help that case, with it being AR 7.7, quite a change, quite a shift in the reading department.
I will say though, for a gimmick map, or I wouldn't really call this gimmick, it's more lower AR stuff, but for this kind of map, it's fairly accessible. Like, it's not super difficult, and if you play this and practice it a bit, it is definitely, like, you can perform on this, even though if you're not used to this kind of map.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one of these Nomad 5 gimmick maps that are very, very doable if you just put in the time to practice it. Unlike some of I think the round of 32 gimmick pick, which was more alt oriented, so that's a little bit harder than something like this, where, I mean, it's really just about whether or not you've practiced.
Yeah.
Even if you're not someone who's very good on hidden, you can definitely still get a good score by just practicing. And we're
Billy or Bertilly, I mean,
we're seeing a sub 50 accuracy right at the gate.
yeah, that's scary.
Normally, you might think that, you know, especially depending on your opponent, that if you just put in the time and the effort to practice a map like this, that not a whole lot of people can do just, you know, without practicing, that maybe you can get a cheesy, easy point from your opponent. But I don't think that that was something that Bertilly was thinking and banked on like some people do. Perhaps that's what Vill did, because he looks very comfortable in this so far.
Yeah, you have a lot of repeating patterns in this, which makes it all the more accessible, because once you've learned one of them, I mean, it's just copy and paste.
It's very much like the hidden 2 from last week. I believe that was also just repeating patterns. So indeed, if you can just get used to these kind of patterns, I mean, they're repeating themselves throughout the map. That part right there is very interesting, though. You just kind of follow the rhythm to get that. But I would say one of the challenging parts about this map is the way that the notes are stacked can make it a little bit difficult. But are we going to see an FC from Vill in this? He's looking very comfortable.
Bit of rhythm coming in there.
And we're at a slow section just before the ending. I mean, it's not going to get that much more challenging. I would even dare to say that he's gotten past the more difficult part of the map.
Whoa, looking a little bit shaky here. All close to missing, but I mean, still a bit of map left.
He does find a break. No full combo on this one, but I mean, a really fantastic score on this map. Going to be going over 600k. Pretty good accuracy as well. Usually we'll see people who are not comfortable on it but have somewhat practiced it. They'll get a decent score, but you can tell from the accuracy that this is not their bread and butter. But Vill is going to get an A rank to boot. 628,000. Very good score.
Oh god, Bertilly's graph is looking... That is a graph and a half.
Hey, it's not all red. All right, he did get green, like somewhat in the middle. So
you do have a point. That's
you gotta respect the accuracy too. It's very nice, very good.
Yeah, not exactly everyone's cup of tea, this kind of map. Certainly not Bertilly's. Match point, though, for Vill. And the pick is going to be in the court of Bertilly. What's your last resort here, you reckon?
It's a good question. I think if you're Bertilly, you're probably, honestly, even though it's not, I was gonna say not super mechanic intensive, you'd probably want to go for something like the Hard Rock 2 or maybe the DT2, just to test out speed, because I mean, we haven't really had a whole lot of tapping so far outside of Nomad 2.
Nomad 4?
But he does go for Nomad 4. That's a bit surprising, honestly, given that the warm-up map was very tech-heavy. And if I remember correctly, let's see. It is something that he has picked before. Yeah, last year he picked Nomad 4 once in a match, so I'm honestly not too sure about how good he is at tech. I know Vill is probably pretty decent at it. I mean, he maps kind of techy stuff from time to time, so.
Yep, this is a very cool map. Mapped by 6px, who tends to map this kind of stuff. Very much a slider tech map, falls into the category of slider vomit, just, you know, fast sliders all over the place. What I find interesting about this map is, though, that there are very, very few slider ticks, so this is super cheesable. You will be paying a high price for it in the accuracy department, but you definitely can get through this by just not aiming the sliders for the most part.
Very true. This is definitely one that you can cheese a little bit of a combo game here, but it's a very short map as well. But it is heavily focused on tech, like you said. Perhaps the last resort pick from Bertilly.
I would assume it is. I mean, starting off not looking super hot. You know, it's very early into the map, but it's not a good sign. We're going to be seeing a little bit of sliderator in this map, though, where the slider accelerates and deaccelerates, which is interesting to see in tournaments. I usually tend to see people trying to avoid that for their more slider intense maps because it is much less readable whether the slider is actually going to be slowing down or not. But Bertilly has been building his recovering combo, though. None of the players really super comfortable on the accuracy, but the score lead, of course, still in the court of Vill as we approach the halfway point here. Bertilly finds a break.
Oh, he does find a drop there. Could have potentially been contested if Vill had found a drop, and Bertilly could just go with the combo game. There's the big slider. But yeah, like you said, the acceleration here definitely makes it a little bit ominous that it's a 5.2 star rating map. I mean, don't get fooled by that. It's certainly much more difficult than that. Saw a little bit of it on the hidden one, the acceleration, but I mean, Vill is just once again super comfortable on this. Okay, I did curse him. There it is, the caster curse. We can't have a match without it.
Of course.
No FC on the Nomad 4, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much in the books now. Not enough score for Bertilly to make up the remaining quarter of the map. He did not want to combo that spinner.
No, fuck that spinner, honestly.
He said no. No spinner in my tech map. He's only gotten a combo here towards the end, but
does drop it.
Drops it there far a little too late. We'll see if Vill can get an A rank. That's the real question right now. Bring that accuracy up, elevate it. 91.99. There it is. Finishes off with an A rank on the number 4. 5-0. Not that I would call it an expected outcome, but a little bit unfortunate to see. Just a unfortunate start from Bertilly all around, you know, picking into his, probably arguably his best skill set, and just not being able to hold combo as consistently as usual, perhaps. Might have been a mental downhill from then on. But we are not going to be saying goodbye to him. We are going to be seeing him in the losers bracket later on in this tournament. So he will have his chance there. I believe if we could get the bracket up, we'll be potentially seeing who each player is going to face next. I believe Vill, winning this match, is going to be facing the winner of the Beast Jonah and Stealth. So I think regardless of the outcome of that, that should be pretty interesting. It's nice to see Stealth actually winning his first match in round of 32, proving himself. First time he's done that, so we'll see if he can go even further against Vill. Bertilly, on the other hand, losing this match to Vill, is going to be dropping down to the loser bracket, and he's going to be playing Pandagwin, actually, who had a very, very nice showcase in his match before dropping into loser bracket. Managed to take it to tiebreaker against Citysnap. Just missing out on staying in the winner's bracket, but played very well. So I think that's going to be an interesting matchup to see.
For sure. You do get your chance at redemption here. We are going to be having another match in 25 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of matches today. The question is whether or not we have streamers and commentators for it. That is an entirely separate issue. But we have a lot of matches coming today, basically the entire afternoon. So not sure about the status on the next couple matches, but we do have, I believe, a few matches later that is going to be streamed. It looks like Thieves and Caesar, the last match of today, is 100% going to be streamed. So do look forward to that. In the meantime, we're probably going to be taking a short break before coming back. And see what's in store for us for the next match.
Until then, take care.